The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. What is going on, my Go Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 289. We are live, as always, on YouTube. If you're out there in the live chat, say hello, say something. I don't care. You say up yours, whatever, but say something because we don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you're watching this in replay or listening in podcast form, look, we're going to try to keep you entertained. I can't guarantee it. You're not going to get your money back. You're sure as hell not getting this time back. But we hope to maybe, entertain you a little bit. If you have any questions out there in the live chat for any of us, go ahead and leave those out there. We'll try to bring them up and talk about them if they are relevant to the conversation, or if they're not, just might be a good conversation. We'll see. If you want to text into the chat, yes, you can text into the chat. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates over at Aegis Gun Care. That phone number is 530-364-4678. Go check out aegisguncare.com. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness and you're looking for the light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I could probably be a pretty decent ear to maybe talk you through, at least listen to you, if nothing else. If you are looking for someone that can get you towards some medical attention, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255, the Veteran Crisis Hotline. We are spotlighting, as always, the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And we are proud members of the Rapid Fire Radio Network and the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite pro-gun, pro-2A podcasts over at rapidfireradio.us and selfdefenseradio.net. Let's take this off of my ugly mug and say hello to, they're not distinguished, nor are they honorable, but they are our crew tonight. We've got a couple more people that might be joining us a little bit late. Quick shout out to our buddy Chase. He is having some issues at the hizzy, and I hope everything works out over there okay. From the weird state of Arizona, the home of Tombstone, and I guess sweet tea, canned sweet tea. Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona is John, the soulless ginger bastard. What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I have to replace my windshield. I got a couple cracks in it over the weekend. And we are in a cool down phase right now. It's 94 today. It was 102 on Saturday and Sunday. So we're cooling down a little bit.
It's pretty sad when we were in the 60s all week last week, lows down in the 40s, and you're cooling down to 94. I love the desert, but not that much. Not that much. And from the great state of Texas, the man that is, shill for basically anyone, as he says he loves free stuff.
Yes, I do.
The tactical leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove?
So I don't have a shotgun this week, but I do have some free stuff.
Oh, yeah? And?
I was told I had to open it on air.
You do.
Now, you know what this is, and I don't have a cam, so I don't know if you can bring up a picture to kind of let everybody know, but I'm ripping into it now. I don't know if you heard that or not. That was my razor. Hopefully I didn't tear nothing up. Okay, here we go. I don't know what to think. It's a shirt.
It is a shirt.
It is a shirt. And it's, oh my God. Well, first of all, it's a black shirt, so I'll never wear it. But it says Oh, well, this is appropriate. So I can actually. I was scared I was not going to be able to read the stupid thing if it was a shirt.
Oh, you could definitely read it.
It says, "I'm not racist. My guns are black."
Yeah, they are. Snob says, "What the hell? No camera? I was so excited to see space."
No, sorry, the camera's in the studio in there. And it's got a thin blue line. That's kind of weird, but isn't that kind of an oxymoron in a way? I guess maybe.
I think that's kind of the point of the shirt, maybe.
And it's a little bit racist because the word black is in like African looking letters. No, but like an African letter font. You know how you see.
I 100% think you should be wearing that out in town.
Oh my God. It would probably go over well around here, quite honestly.
Yeah, it might. Yeah.
But it's not really true though. Well,
so you are racist. Oh, okay.
It depends on. Well, yeah. Well, some people say so, I guess. But definitely not. All of my guns are definitely not black. But the video I dropped today, the gun was black. So I guess that counts.
Snob brought a little context. He said, "You think Chase brought it?" So yes.
Yeah, you guys pick on me so much. I love it.
It's way too easy.
But
way too easy, homie.
That's one reason that I love free stuff, because these guys they rip on me all the time. And bless his heart, Snob is one of the number one offenders bagging it on with his Amazon Vine, but I get free stuff out of it. So
that's right. That's right.
You know, does that make me a prostitute if I get free stuff for allowing you guys to pick on me? Does that make me a prostitute? I need to know for tax purposes. I need to know for tax purposes.
Sending over anything ever again now after that statement. That is never again am I sending you stuff after that statement.
I'm not so worried about you being a prostitute. I'm more worried, is Snob your pimp?
Oh,
that's a scary thought.
Yeah, an Oklahoma pimp. I guess it's possible.
Pimp. That's got to be a patch.
When you think pimps, you don't think Oklahoma, but maybe.
I don't know. Remember, we've been in some sketchy ass hotels in Tulsa that definitely had pimps hanging around. I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, people wanting weed for sure.
Yeah, and only one bulb.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Right.
Now, Gary out there says, no way those guys would pick on someone. Not at all.
Nah.
We are some of the nicest people in the gun industry. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some people would say that. Others may not. If you're inside our circle of trust, as you will, I think that we are a very likable, happy-go-lucky crew that enjoys picking on each other. Now, from the outside in, we're probably not well liked by many. That's okay, because I've got enough friends. I don't need any more. So,
yeah. And by the way, I know Chase has got homeowner issues. Let's just say,
yes, he does. He might be able to jump in. He's not sure yet.
But I always say thanks to Snob and whatever. So thanks to Chase for thinking about me, even though it was
You've got another package coming sometime the next day or two that I don't know who all knows about it. I'm eagerly anticipating your response. So,
well, there will be one.
Kyle says that hat goes hard. Yeah, man, this is my Wilder tactical hat. It definitely would have fit in great in NRAM. But shout out to my buddies over, Josh and all of them over at Wilder Tactical. If you guys haven't checked them out, they're not a sponsor or anything. They're just friends of mine. Go check out Wilder Tactical. You guys know that I run my war belt, if you will, has been Wilder Tactical for a while, and I love that thing. But we're getting ready to we're talking with Josh a little bit back and forth, and we're going to start trying to get them to do some discount codes and maybe some even affiliate marketing. So that be on the lookout for some of that. If you're interested in Wilder Tactical, I think we've got them talked into doing some of that stuff. Gary says, I'm not in this particular circle. You are. You just don't know it. All right. You guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday over in our YouTube community tab, we run with our Ghost Tactical Polls, also known as the Pony Polls. John's having issues. Dude, what else is new? You live with having issues, but that's okay. You take care of your issues and we'll be here. I know he's been having some audio issues. He's driving home, so that might be part of the problem. Might need to go invest in something besides the old wish.com earbuds, just saying. But yeah, the Ghost Tactical Polls, or the Pony Polls, if you will. Go check out AndersonManufacturing.com. I didn't get a sneak peek. I just happened to see it over on Instagram and all of that on their website. This month's Cerakote project of the month. Oh, wow. If you're into a really badass looking camo design, last month was kind of like the A-Palms, the Miami Vice feel. This one would be, you're definitely gonna want to go check this one out. Ginger, can you hear me?
Yeah, somebody called me 5 times in a row and it kicked everything out. Now I can't.
I wonder who that could have been. Was it someone that we know? I'm sure it was. But anyways, let's go and check out our polls this week. The Pony Polls, if you will. Of these, what's your favorite weapons light company? Of these, Streamlight, Surefire, Enforce, or Phoenix? Clove, do you have a favorite? Well, it doesn't have to be one of those 4, I guess. But I think
it is. Oh, it is. Yeah,
I think it is. So
Streamlight, hands down.
Streamlight. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Ginger, favorite weapons light company? If you say, I will beat you to a bloody pulp through this monitor.
Well, since I was going to say Streamlight, but since you threatened me, I'm going to say Olight and just take my beating. So,
and let's mute him real quick.
Who doesn't want a grenade in their hand? Oh.
Exactly, right?
I see how it is.
Yeah, Streamlight. Yeah. For me, it's 100% Streamlight. I've got some Surefire. I like it. I've got an Enforce. I've got it Mog. I've got a couple others. I tell you what, I don't own a Phoenix. I have played with Phoenix a few times, and they're pretty solid. But I think for me, and I'm sure John and Clover would probably attest to this as well, and anyone that's ever actually had a Streamlight's going to give you the best bang for your buck. It's the best value. I would put it up there with any Surefire, like my Streamlight HLX is basically going to be the same size, dimensions, and all of that of like a Surefire Scout. You're going to be able to get the Streamlight for, let's say, $120. The Surefire is going to be about $300 to $350, so half the price. And I tell you what, that Streamlight is absolutely going to outrun that Surefire for sure. I like Surefire, but man, Streamlight is the way to go. So 49% of you were right when you said Streamlight. Surefire comes in second place with 32%. Other comes in at 9%, and the vast majority of those are Olight. They drink the Kool-Aid. Phoenix comes in at 5% and Enforce at 4%. Yep, our buddy Kyle, you got a link out there. If you get a chance, you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. Says Surefire runs great. That was the Marine Corps choice when I was in. Yeah, Surefire had a nice contract with the Marine Corps. I'm sure they still do. Wes out there says I like Streamlight and Phoenix. There you go. Let's bring that up. That's kind of what the t-shirt looks like.
My apologies. It took me a minute to get the image done, but there you go.
Yeah.
That's the shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Snob says John likes his pocket grenades. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He also says if John would get off work before 7, this wouldn't be an issue. To be fair, he is 2 hours behind.
To be fair, we don't do daylight savings time, so we're like normal people, unlike all you folks. So get off daylight savings time, and this wouldn't be a problem.
You're still 2 hours behind, bro. Kyle says I'd hop in, but I'm at a rehearsal dinner. Homie, I love you. Don't get in trouble listening to this crappy podcast while you're at a rehearsal dinner. The last thing you want to do is get everyone pissed off because you're listening or watching something at a rehearsal dinner. We appreciate it.
Is he off Broadway? What's up with the rehearsal dinner? I wonder.
Well, I think he did say it's a dress rehearsal, so this must mean they're about maybe 2 or 3 weeks out from opening night. Because if it was a dress rehearsal, he would have said so. But just a rehearsal dinner, maybe they're sitting around the table, going through the script and singing and doing the songs and all of that, and makeup and dress. So this is probably a table read, if you will. They must call it a rehearsal dinner in Broadway.
Yeah, yeah.
He said he's playing moral support and he's not in the party. Well, homie, you better get in that party. If you're going to be there, you might as well get in the party. Now, Snob says, Kyle, no stones if you don't join on speakerphone from the dinner. I agree 100%. Your wife's sister's wedding. Oh, that sounds dreadful. I hope I'm not on speaker right now, but that sounds dreadful. You have fun with that, bro.
May the odds be with ever in your favor there, Kyle.
Yes. I would like for you to send me a text tonight to make sure that you got through this mentally okay and that you're going to be all right. Just shoot me a text, say, hey, I'm good, made it through. Tell you what, you're there for moral support. God bless you. God bless you. All right, our next one of these. Now we all have those days, right, where we just don't feel it. Wes said, no wonder he's watching this. That would be the only reason he's watching it, you know.
So something that would be great for Kyle, look up either after this or whatever. Look up, if you haven't seen it, just do a YouTube search. Tim Hawkins inappropriate wedding songs. Play it for everybody there. You're welcome.
I'm sure that there'll be no problem with that. That might be up to something I need to look at too. Sarge says, what is this? This is our emotional support group for everyone that's at rehearsal dinners for their wife's sister's wedding. We're here to help them out. So if you'd like to join in to help Kyle out, get him through the next couple hours of his life, and that's what we're here for. Everyone has those days that you're just not feeling it, right? You don't want to, you come home and you don't feel like cooking and you don't feel like doing anything. You just want to lounge around and do nothing. For most of us, that's day. For Clover, that's just a normal, like Monday or Thursday or Wednesday or Friday, or just wants to lie around and do nothing. But for those days that we do not feel like cooking and all that, we have a poll for you. Of these, 1.7 thousand votes. Of these, what's the best go-to lazy dinner? Is it frozen pizza, a grilled cheese sandwich, good old Kraft or whatever, the box mac and cheese, or a frozen TV dinner? John, the go-to lazy dinner. What are you feeling?
I was going to say frozen pizza, but you forgot one that's a very big staple, and that's ramen noodles. Because that's lazy as lazy can get. You just boil some water and make some ramen.
Not so much in my household. We do ramen a little differently. Ramen in our house becomes a meal. Now, I've got Yoko in there when she does it. It's not just throwing the noodles in water and throwing a little powder that you get with it and calling it good. We'll throw in some cabbage. We'll throw in some egg. We'll throw in it becomes a meal. So I get where you're coming from. For my house, it is definitely not a lazy dinner. But So you're saying of these 4, though, you're going to pick frozen pizza. Is that correct?
Yes, because I just had a lazy day on Sunday and we made pizza and just general snack food. So like pretzels with cheese in it and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Now, to piss off part of this crowd out there, do you have a specific type of pizza? Is it New York, Chicago, thin crust? What kind of pizza is your go-to pizza?
Go-to is DiGiorno. I don't know what you would call it. Rising crust.
It's like a deep dish, or
deep dish.
Thick crust. Yeah, sure.
So that's the go-to. I've tried all the other ones, and I have found that I do not like the texture, and DiGiorno is just the way to go.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you introduced yourself to the wonderful world of bagel bites?
Bro, yes. Bagel bites were a staple in college.
Bagel bites is the greatest frozen pizza in the world. Just
now, it's between bagel bites and pizza rolls.
The Tostina's pizza rolls, those are pretty good, but I'm still going bagel bites.
But I did find something interesting the other day at the grocery store, and it is pizza rolls that are White Castle, and they are delicious. And it's probably the greatest thing I've ever found.
You and I had an interesting experience at White Castle. It only took them an hour and a half to get your sliders done in Indianapolis.
It was a great bonding experience.
Was it now? Keep for yourself now. Yeah. Clover?
I'll probably go mac and cheese.
All right. Are you a Kraft mac and cheese or
I prefer I'm not brand specific, but I prefer.
Okay, I'm talking. Are the box mac like that comes with
I
the?
I prefer the non-powder variety. And I will tell you this: my wife picked up some the other day, and it was off-brand, but it was still fabulous. It was a smoked Gouda mac and cheese.
Interesting.
And I did some green onions in that with some bacon, but that was my point. Mac and cheese is like one pot, right? Like it's not a lot of prep, and you can throw stuff real quickly, leftovers, whatever, meats and different things. Taco meat in mac and cheese is wonderful. Leftover taco meat. I mean, who has leftover taco meat? Let's be honest. But if you do,
it doesn't have it very often, but yeah, I feel what you're saying. Let's see here. Just to make it simple to keep pissing people off out there, when it comes to pizza, frozen pizza, do you have like a go-to frozen pizza when you do choose to do that?
I like when I do frozen pizza.
Yeah.
Honestly, the cheaper the better. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm one of those maybe weirdos. I don't know. I loved pizza day in school.
Oh, I did too. I love the school pizza.
And the cheap frozen pizza remind me of pizza day at school because it's not great.
No.
Did you also eat cardboard as a kid? Because that's what it tastes like.
I'm quite a bit older than you, so my pizza at school was different. I can assure you that your pizza at school.
Our pizza and Salisbury steak are not what they're eating in today's school. I promise you.
Yep.
Salisbury steak day was a pretty good day every now and then too. So
there was nothing crispy, rigid, or anything else like cardboard. It was soggy.
Ours was like the rectangle, and it was
you rolled it.
Oh,
either you had to fold it or roll it. But I mean, if you picked it up, it was as limp as it could be.
Yep.
Well, my wife bought some Red Baron pizza the other day because it was on sale. We made it. I can't eat that. It just tastes like cardboard.
Are you talking the French pizza?
Yeah, the frozen pizza.
The French bread?
The French bread. The actual full frozen pizza.
The French bread's pretty good.
French bread. I was going to say the French bread I enjoy.
Yeah.
I tell you what you can do. We start doing this. Go to the grocery store, get yourself some bagels. Get your own pizza sauce that you choose. some mozzarella, some different cheese, and make your own bagel bites inside a toaster oven. Telling you.
You can also do low carb tortillas. Oh,
yeah, we do that a lot actually. Found a new low carb bread that's as good as any bread I've ever had. Regular bread. Found it at Walmart. It's got 3 net grams per slice, and it's phenomenal. Soft.
Made in Kentucky, I think, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't get me lying, but it's really damn good. Really
I remember. I know the bread you're talking about, and I remember on the trip to Indy, it was either Tennessee or Kentucky one, and we drove by the factory. Factories right there along the interstate. I was like, "Oh, that's the big bakery for the keto bread."
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus out there says frozen pizza. C4 Defense says order pizza. Well, I obviously you could get delivered. That's the ultimate lazy meal is just order in. But having to do a little bit of work in the kitchen. That's the kind of what I was going with. But I hear what you're saying. Kyle says grilled cheese is the best tasting frozen pizza for simplicity. Wes says pizza is always the answer. I don't always agree. There's a lot of pizza that I just don't get along with. So now Wes says, speaking of not getting along with it, anything White Castle I have to eat when I'm not leaving the house. That's a fair statement. Wes, I just had some QT mac and cheese. Like QT, like the gas station. That might be scary, bro. I'm just saying. Snob did not like school pizza, but then again, he's Oklahoma, so it is what it is. Gort says, after extensive testing, the best frozen pizza is the Newman's own brand. I don't think I've ever had Paul Newman's frozen pizza. I've had his spaghetti sauce and all that stuff, but I've never had his frozen. I didn't know he had frozen pizza. But yeah. What about hot dogs and chips? Hot dogs could be a lazy man's dinner, that's for sure. Microwave burritos and queso is no. I'm just saying no. Microwave burritos, that nope. I would let my ass have a night off from that. 1.7 thousand votes. 54% say frozen pizza. 23% say grilled cheese sandwich. 14% say mac and cheese. And 9%, which is actually higher than I thought it would be, say the TV dinner. Now, when we were kids, the TV dinner started kind of coming out and all that, and they were pretty popular, but they were still pretty nasty. But yeah, I was actually surprised it got 9% of the vote.
Run this down through there. Favorite TV dinner.
Okay, let's hear your guys' favorite TV dinner out there. Let's go ahead with you since you brought up Clove. Go for it.
So, probably like the El Charrito or whatever cheese enchilada with the rice and beans, probably.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Runner up, Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and corn.
John, favorite frozen dinner?
No, just not gonna. No, no. TV dinners are disgusting. I mean, I guess you could go if you're changing it to frozen dinner, the Stouffer's lasagna, if that counts as a TV dinner.
With the family size one? Yes.
Yeah, the family size one.
Pretty good.
That's great.
If it's pre-cooked and you can warm it up in the microwave, it's a TV dinner.
Yeah.
I've never warmed up a lasagna in the microwave.
There are lasagna TV dinners.
Yeah. But the Stouffer's that he's talking about, it comes in a big old thing you put in the oven for.
I know what he's talking about, but they also make them in individual servings.
Well, they might. I don't know.
I mean, if I'm that desperate to eat a TV dinner, I'm going to take 2 tortillas. I'm going to throw cheese in between them and put them in the microwave and make a quesadilla.
Well, aren't you just the epitome of white privilege?
I mean, how's that white privilege? That's cheap. little bit of mozzarella or
Mexican
mixed cheese and some tortillas.
Have you ever
He's sticking his nose up at frozen dinners, man.
I know he is. Have you ever eaten TV dinners?
I had it was Hungry Man when we were in college.
Oh man, the fried chicken.
No, it was like the Salisbury steak with the
Hungry Man fried chicken's banging. It's
with the with the brownie that warms up in the same tray.
Yeah.
It was
Ghost probably likes those brownies because they're real gooey.
I do. I like gooey.
Or even some like chicken nuggets. Like chicken nuggets are a great lazy dinner too.
Yeah, and you can get at one time, not too terribly long ago, you could get the Banquet chicken nuggets and French fries TV dinner for like 99 cents. And I was like, wow, what a deal!
I can't remember the last time I had one, but I mean, ones I have aren't bad. My favorite one is hands down the Salisbury steak, and my runner up would be a beef stroganoff. But now we just make our beef stroganoff at home from scratch, and it's unreal.
Well, and there are when we talk TV dinners, we mainly talk the cheap stuff, right? But there's some pretty high end TV dinners. There's some Marie Callender's. The Stouffer stuff is fairly high end. There's one, I don't know if anybody out there's ever ate one from a company called Nighthawk. And they may not even be around, but they had it was like a hamburger steak, like a grilled hamburger steak. And I mean,
hamburger steak last night. My wife makes
they're pretty good, but they're high end. They're not like, 2 for $1, 99 cent, whatever TV dinners either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frozen meals, I guess is what you would call
that.
This
is called pepperoni Hot Pockets. Now, I'm a fan of Hot Pockets. I'm not a big fan of the pepperoni ones. The two that I really enjoy are the ham and cheese ones, and the Philly cheese Hot Pockets are pretty scrumptious. So,
cold on the outside, a labo on the inside. You ain't careful.
Well, you have to get that right, and once you kind of got it down, you might have to sacrifice a couple to get the timing right. But sure. Let's do this real quick because this is always fun. Like a midnight snack. What's your go-to midnight snack, John? All right. Clove?
Lately, microwave pork skins.
Okay. That sounds terrible, but okay.
Preferably the hot ones.
Sure. Yeah. Historically, not just lately, but historically, what would you say?
Usually something like a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah. I have 3 that I rotate, and it really all depends on in the mood and what we have. For me, it's either cereal. Can't go wrong with cereal. Peanut butter toast on lightly toasted bread, peanut butter toast, or popcorn. I'm kind of been on a popcorn kick the last week or so I've been having popcorn. Can't beat that.
Before I got more into the health conscious side of things, and before I found the microwave pork rinds or whatever, it was popcorn.
Yeah.
Our pork rinds. What did I miss?
You missed. I just threw a little bonus question out there. What's your favorite midnight snack?
Oh, you're gonna laugh at this bowl cereal.
Oh no! I said I have 3. It's cereal or peanut butter toast or popcorn. One of the 3. So no, cereal's definitely one of mine. 100%. I feel you on that one. Wes says his go-to is peanut butter and jelly. Can't go wrong. That nice ice cold glass of milk. Can't beat that. Marcus says in the wintertime, it's hot chocolate with peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yep. Gort says he agrees with popcorn. So, yeah. Our last poll question is in celebration of Clover Tack. Clover finally, in the last couple of weeks, has introduced himself to the John Wick movies. He had not seen a John Wick movie until a couple weeks ago, and
I haven't seen the fourth.
We haven't seen the fourth, so no spoiler alerts out there. So our last poll question is best John Wick movie. Now, obviously, you haven't seen number 4 yet, Clover. So let's start with you and go like 1 through 3. Obviously, what's your favorite John Wick movie?
In that order for me.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John. John Wick movies. Have you seen the 4th one?
I've yet to see the 4th one.
Okay, so I'll go this. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing. 1 through 3. What's in order? What's your favorite? The least favorite.
I'm gonna say it's 1, 3, 2, because I really like the 3rd one. But at the same time, I think 1 is most people's favorite because the guns in 1 are not unobtainium and stupidly expensive. So you can own the guns from John Wick 1 without having to spend too much money.
Sure. Yeah. Me personally, my order goes 3, 1, 4, 2. Not that I hate 2. I love all of them. 3 for me is my favorite. And it's not even close, honestly. I love 3. And a lot of it has to do with the dog scene and all of that stuff. And they start kind of going into a little bit of the background. You find out some more information about John Wick in 3. Then 1, classic, right? Classic. My favorite line, and I joke with this with Clover all the time, my favorite part of 1 is when, well, by the way, if you haven't watched John Wick out there, then spoiler alert, we're getting ready to spoil, because you haven't at least seen the first 3, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Like,
yeah, if I've seen them at this point, I think I think I'm the litmus test for that. Like,
yeah, just move at this point. Now they have signed on for I think 3 more. Now, this is rumor, so I don't know if it's legitimate. This is not coming from any of the movie studios or anything like that. But from my understanding, the 3 movies are going to be, one of them is going to be an origins movie that kind of shows the young age of John Wick, how he gets involved with being John Wick in the assassin world and all of that. Another movie is going to be, so everyone that's kind of watched John Wick, the biggest question in the whole series is like, what exactly did he have to do to get out the first time? Apparently that's going to be one of the movies, is what he had to do to get out the first time, and then meeting his wife and all of that stuff. And then apparently the last one will be kind of a finish up conclusion to John Wick. So I'm in. Sounds great to me. Once again, that's just what I've heard. I obviously don't have any inside information. Keanu hasn't answered his calls when I've called him to ask him, and he's not answered his text. I think he's blocked me, but maybe he'll answer one day. But in number 1, and it's probably my favorite line in any of the John Wicks. The best scene is when the Russian kid brings in John Wick's car over to John Leguizamo's body shop, and he obviously recognizes the car very quickly. And he's like, "Where'd you get this car?" Blah, blah, blah. He goes, "Oh, did you kill him?" He goes, "No, he messed up his dog pretty bad." "Oh, he messed up his dog," and then he just punches the Russian mobster's son, and that kid goes ballistic. Like, "We own you," blah blah blah. The best part of it is the next scene is the head of the Russian mob calls Leguizamo and said, "I understand that you hit my son." He said, "Yes, sir, I did. But he stole John Wick's car." And the only reply was, "Oh." Best scene in all the John Wicks. It was beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of John Wick. If you haven't seen number 4, unbelievable. I'm not going to give a spoiler alert. I will just say this: Dragon's Breath. and do with that what you will. John, bring you in. So far in the first three, do you have a favorite scene in the John Wick saga?
There's two scenes that really stand out. I believe they're both in the third movie, as the reassembling of the cult
Oh yeah, at the museum. Yeah,
at the museum.
Yeah.
And by the way, can be done. Can be done.
Yep.
The second one is the scene when they're in Italy and they fight into the Continental, and he goes, they go to grab a drink and they go, "Oh, you're bourbon, gin, I presume," or if I remember. So those are two of the scenes that really stand out. And there is actually one more, is the pencil, and I believe 3, which is
because that was referred to in either 1 or 2. They like, I seen him kill a man with a pencil, and I think that was
both.
the first one.
Yeah, both of the first ones. Yeah.
And then you actually get to see it. Actually, he did it in 2 because he did that at the the airport over in Italy or something like that, didn't he? When
I think that was the train station.
It was the first or the third one when all the people were after him.
Well, that's every movie.
Well, when it literally, because Winston gave him that hour and his hour was up, so that was the third.
Yeah, I thought that he got a couple of the guys with a pencil when he was over in Italy, and he was fighting Common. And I thought that maybe he had taken care of someone with a pencil as well. I might be wrong. Yeah. Marcus says, I love the bartender scenes when he's ordering his weapons. Yeah, absolutely. And for dessert, our finest cutlery, and great ones. And then I love when he's ordering the suits. He's like, fabric, tactical. And it's the bulletproof suits and all of that. Wouldn't that be some shit? Having some bulletproof suits, that'd be badass. Just saying. Yeah, great movies. Like I said, if you haven't watched them yet, then either watch them or move, because at this point, like you said, if Clover's seen them at this point, then everyone should have seen at least the first 3. I'll give you a pass on number 4 right now because it's still out in theaters, but here pretty soon it's going to be out streaming, so enjoy it when you can.
As soon as it's available on stream, I keep checking, and it's like, oh, you pre-order, check back, whatever.
Yeah.
So
now Sarge says he likes the fact that they're hitmen absolutely everywhere, and I think that was oh, there you go. So you're home now, finally. I'm assuming you can hear me now?
What?
I'm assuming you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Put it on your phone, I think, or your settings or something.
Something on my phone, and then my friend Ursula called me 5 times in a row, and I kept sending her to mute.
Ursula?
Yeah, she works over at Staccato.
I was thinking, wasn't she like the witch in I'm just saying.
I was gonna say
Mermaid.
I was gonna say, don't tell Phoebe.
Oh, even better. Ursula is Phoebe's twin sister. I was thinking more Little Mermaid, but yeah, I get it. Yeah. I want to say, was it? I guess it was the end of 2, John Wick 2, and he's meeting out in Central Park with Winston, and he's basically at this point been excommunicado, and Winston just says now, and literally everyone stops walking, and so everyone there is a hitman. There's hundreds of people in Central Park, and every single one of them are hitmen because Winston had the controls say stop, and then he said okay, and then they all just walk away. He says you have 1 hour. Great way to end that movie. But yeah, the fact that there are hitmen everywhere. The best one ever as far as having the communication with other hitmen and all that. And I don't remember if it was in 1 or 2. John, Clover, remind me, because you guys have seen it probably before. I haven't watched 2 in a while, or 1. When he's walking through the train station and walks up to the homeless guy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And And the guy's talking to himself like, just the weirdo that you would think he would be. And then he puts the gold coin in his cup and he lifts the tarp, gets him in there, and then just goes on and talking to himself again. I thought that was a great scene as well.
I think it was
2.
It was 2 because he shot
from Italy, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, because that was before he was excommunicado.
Yeah,
because he was excommunicado because of that, because they put a bounty on his head.
That was before he went to see the king. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm okay with it. I'm absolutely. If you haven't seen them, we'll just sit there and say that the Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne friendship continues on in the John Wick's movies, and Lawrence Fishburne is amazing in the John Wicks. Absolutely amazing. So
one of you never asked me like my favorites, and I agree with pretty much everything said in the chat.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But like the very first one, when he calls and gets dinner reservations, like I was like, what is he doing? Like dinner? What the hell? Yeah. And then the guys show up in the van, and I mean, you talk about efficient at cleaning up, buddy.
Like that.
It's like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they it cost, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6 gold coins, and not a problem. The great one in 1, and I'm not sure if it happened in 2 also, but the first time in 1 when the security guard shows up to his house and he's like, noise complaint. He goes, yep, noise complaint. And he looks around, he goes, you working, John? He goes, oh, just kind of cleaning up. And he goes, have a nice night. But he's like, are you working again?
or when he tracks down the Russian mafia guy's son, right? And the bouncer at the door, he's like,
take the night off. Yeah.
You want to take the night off? Guy's like, yep, I'm out of here.
He just goes, thank you. Because I was making it back. He goes, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I don't know, as far as the gunfight scenes so far, I really dug like the tunnel scenes in Rome.
In 2, when he's got the AR, the shotgun stage in the tunnels and all that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously, and this is kind of goes, we're going to talk about movie guns and all of that. Obviously, the John Wick have a lot of great guns. He's an HK guy. He kind of uses Glock occasionally, Benelli, some Berettas. He's not necessarily, well, I guess he kind of is a gun snob in a sense. But when you're an assassin, you're going to use those kind of guns and those brands that are trusted and all of that. But yeah, it is kind of fun to see the guns that they're choosing. And number 3, the concierge decides to jump into the fight as well. And if you guys watched that the first time, did that surprise anybody that he's a badass? It didn't surprise me at all. It was cool to see it though, especially when they go out there and they're fighting the guys and they have the armor plates on and all of that. So they run real quick and like, okay, let's do the slugs and take care of that. Take care of the plates and all that. But yeah, anybody here surprised that the concierge is a badass?
I'm not surprised at all, because just that is also one of the best scenes in the movie, because he comes through the safe doors like, I need more firepower. Yeah. And the weird part about 3 that really got me was that you don't realize how big the Continental is until 3.
Yeah.
What got me in 3, and why 3 is my least favorite, is there was way more missed opportunity to kill John Wick in 3 that was just absolutely stupid. Like at the end with the Asian guys, it's like, oh, they just completely stop and they're holding swords to his throat. And they go, oh, it's an honor to fight you. And I'm like, just cut his throat, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that is a legitimate point. the problem that, and Clover and I have talked about this on the phone, when he started getting into it, we would talk quite a bit on the phone after he watched each individual movie. And obviously the thing that's famous for John Wick is about how he kills people is the old headshot. These are all assassins. Yes, John Wick is presumably the greatest assassin in the world, but all these people are assassins. You're telling me they don't have enough training to headshot John Wick? Like, why the hell has no one ever headshot him? They always shoot him in the bulletproof, suits. I don't get that, Now, Sarge says that he carries more Glocks than anything. He likes the 34 and the 26 combo. Yes. But if you remember, wasn't he in Italy? And he says, I know that you've always been partial to the German, but can I interest you in the Austrian?
Well, the Austrians, yeah.
Then you're talking about, so first movie, he had an HKP 30 with a comp.
He was an HK guy, and then he moved Glock in number 2, I believe.
Well, he had the HKP 30s with the comps and a 26 in the first movie, and then a Caltech KSG at one point. Those are the 3 that really stand out. Then in the second movie,
that's not the ones that he's picking up from other people. We're talking about the ones that he uses. Now, he was almost Glock centric in 3.
In 2, he was really Glock centric. In 3,
there was a lot of 1911s.
There was a lot.
The 1911s, but in the fights, like when he and Halle Berry were fighting, they were both Glocks because he kept on picking up magazines from everyone, which was fine. It was a lot of 1911s. If you're a Kimber fan, the Kimber plays a big role in the John Wick's movies 2 and 3, and a little bit of 4. So if you're a Kimber fan, it's because he shields his face with a bulletproof suit. Not all the time, man. You're telling me that I promise you. Cameos in John Wick. Now there's cameos, like one scene, but ones that aren't in, like they're characters that aren't in every episode. Do you guys have favorites? Mine's Willem Dafoe in the first one. When I saw Willem Dafoe, I was like, because he's going to be bad, because Willem Dafoe is maybe the greatest likable bad guy in the history of acting. He plays a bad guy great, but you pull for him. But yeah, Willem Dafoe's one. Do you guys have a favorite kind of cameo that's only in one episode?
I like the dude he sword fights. I don't know why. There's just something about him. I can't remember the actor's name, but in 3, there's just something about him that he's got this era of cockiness, but at the same time respect.
So what do I know him from? Because I never could figure it out.
He's a bunch of movies.
I could IMFDB it, but
yeah. Let's see here. John Wick 3 cast. His name is Mark Dacascos. And he played only the strong, crime free, and Brotherhood of the Wolf, Iron Chef America, Drive, Double Dragon. But he plays in a lot of bit roles, and all of that.
Yeah, seems like it was in a TV show, and he was actually funny or something in it.
Oh, he's pretty funny. He was in Cradle to the Grave. He was in The Crow. He was in Hawaii Five-0. One Night in Bangkok, and a bunch of sea movies, but martial arts movies. He was in a lot of Van Damme movies. He was in Blade of the 47 Ronin. He was in a bunch of action stuff back in the early 2000s and late 90s and all of that. You've probably just seen him in some of those movies as extras, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, Ghost, you brought up why nobody headshotted John Wick. I wanted to chime in on that real quick.
Absolutely.
Think about your training.
Time on John Wick, but
this is the last. Think about your training and look at the movies and how he even shoots. You want to shoot the biggest target. The biggest target is the chest, just like he goes. Then he rolls and he pops him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my theory behind it, is that they're just trying, because he's not going down, so why go for a headshot? Keep going for the body. Get him to the ground.
Going down. Let's try something different.
Yeah.
So I know why I recognize him.
Okay.
I had to scroll down the list, but he is in the Expendables.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen him. So that was the deal that I made with Clover, is once he watched the John Wick movies, he told me that I now have to watch the Expendables movies. So that will be on my list of watching. So yeah, we'll do that. All right, guns and all of that. Obviously, John Wick, there's a lot of them, and yes, there's people out there saying there are better movies with guns. I get that, but John Wick is kind of, for a lot of people, John Wick brought people into gun movies, if you will. Like, there's a lot of people that watched John Wick that were never into guns, and now maybe they are. What I respect about Keanu is he's a gun guy. Excuse me, sorry. He's a gun guy, but the training that he went through and all of that, to do all the really cool handling, he takes that stuff very seriously. So he does some Hollywood stuff just to have it, but he takes the handling side of it very, very seriously, which I respect and I appreciate. If you guys are going to if you ever have any questions on what guns are being used, Internet Movie Firearms Database, imfdb.org. You can search movies and it'll kind of tell you what guns are in all of those movies. It's a fun website to go to, especially if you're watching a movie like, oh, what kind of gun is that? Not a problem. Go look at it. Let's have an open, fun discussion on favorite kind of movie guns, guys, over the years. There are some iconic ones out there.
Quigley.
Okay. Go ahead, John. No, you're fine.
I would have to say, for me growing up, there's two that really stand out. One's mostly a TV show, but it'd be the P90 and then the 92, because the 92 was in everything.
Especially in the 80s, it was the 92 was in everything.
Modified a lot, usually, like RoboCop, for example, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Underworld as well, a couple of 92 variants that are banging.
92s and MP5s were big in the late 80s. I remember watching Lethal Weapon, the very first Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson, and obviously he loved the 92, or he carried the 92. So 92 was huge in the 80s. If there was a TV show or a movie that got a lot of guns in it, it may not be like the one that was focused on, but the 92 was going to be prevalent in all of those movies. Now, are you saying those are your favorite movie guns, or those are the ones you just remember the most, John?
Those are probably the two that stand out the most. Yeah. Like favorite movie guns. I mean, it's hard to pick, because every time I watch a movie, being a gun person, you're always nitpicking on things. And I am, but I'd have to say another one that was great was the, what's the Western with, where they're doing the shooting competition to kill each other. You guys remember that? It had Leonardo DiCaprio in it. And now it's slipping my mind because I just looked at
Django Unchained.
No, Quick in the Dead.
Quick in the Dead.
Yeah, okay. Oh, even when Leonardo was young, or
when he was young.
Yeah.
Because what was that? Russell Crowe, right? He was the main.
Was it Russell Crowe?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good.
No, there's another one. Is Unforgiven? Is that the one with Gene Hackman?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I get those two mixed up. So yes.
There's some like cool, like.
But Gene Hackman was in Quick and the Dead as well, though.
Well, son of a bitch.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
See, movie guns, like I said, those are cool because they have like details on them, or like the dude, the aces had like custom aces and stuff put on his gun and things like that.
Yeah.
And then there's historical movies where you're like, oh, that's an M1 Garand, and that's like the one that really made me question things was Fury. And you're watching Fury, the tank. You remember the tank movie with Brad Pitt? Yeah. Where he's a tank commander.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a USGI, and he's got an SGT-44. So why does a GI have an STG-44?
He acquired it maybe and realized this is better than what we've got.
Right?
I'm just saying. I mean,
but yeah,
I would. Let's be honest. If you were over there and you could acquire one, wouldn't you?
I mean, you're not wrong. But then there's also, you know, the culprits that we all know, Dirty Harry, and it's hard because there's not one that like really sticks out. There's just a whole bunch because they were in a bunch of different movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Jump in, Chloe. This is just an open discussion at this point. For me, I'm going to say something that might be taken as blasphemy. I'm obviously aware of Quigley Down Under in the Shiloh. I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you got to watch that too. You got to add that to your list. Bro.
I know.
That's a classic.
I know, and it's just one I've never. I shouldn't say I never watched it. I've never watched it all the way. I've watched pieces here, pieces there, but I've never like watched the whole movie.
There's some parts that are a slow burn because of what's her name in there, because she's nuts, right? And like she goes off on these weird tangents and stuff, and they could have cut that out and it'd been just as good of a movie.
Yeah, but I've never seen Quigley, so. For me, I'm gonna give you, Clover, some time to think about maybe ones that stick out in your mind and favorite ones. I'm not gonna go favorite quite yet. I will say ones that stick out in my mind. There's a couple of them. When I was younger, there was a movie that came out in the early 80s, mid 80s, whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was early 80s, called Silverado. And if you've never seen Silverado, it's a great Western with Scott Glenn, and Kevin Costner was one of his first big roles, and he played Jake. Jake was great with guns, had all the fun twirling with the fingers and all of that stuff. And I remember going home from the movie, making my dad, now this is, I'm dating myself, making my dad stop off at Toys R Us to get me a couple cap gun revolvers with a gun holster belt, and I sat there for hours, probably days, and just trying to get the twirl into the holster and all that. Love those. I'm sure they were probably what the old Colt, single action armies. I don't know.
Yeah.
They would. But there was another one in that movie was the Henry, and Danny Glover and his dad. He says, have you ever seen what a Henry rifle can do with someone that actually can use it? And that was a cool scene. I remember the Henry. So those are the two that stick out as an early memory, like what kind of like piqued my interest in guns as an early age was Silverado, actually. Chloe, are there any guns, I'm not saying favorites and all that, but like any guns that you recall that kind of like you remember as a young kid seeing them in movies? Now taking Han Solo's blaster out of the equation, greatest movie gun of all time, hands down. There is no way of getting around that. So we're taking the blaster out of the equation.
So no fantasy stuff.
Oh, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying the blaster is off limits because that is the greatest movie gun.
I don't know. Chewie's bowcaster's pretty awesome.
Damn. Yeah, you might have me on that one. Yeah, that's pretty badass too.
I've got to get that project started one of these days.
Yes, you do.
I've got a barreled action here just waiting to be turned into a bowcaster. But Jesse Ventura and the minigun, right? Like, how do you forget that?
I mean, anytime a minigun's involved, right?
Right. Pretty awesome. Again, big fan of the RoboCop, and just because I'm a 92 fan's part of it, but the mock-ups they did on that, and then as well as like
futuristic, they did a great job of this for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff. The newest Magnificent Seven. There's a lot of really cool.
Sure.
Yeah, the remake. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff. With that. Sarge is bringing up the Mandalorian rifle is epic. It broke my heart when that got blown up or whatever. But that is not mocked up off of a real firearm. Now I happen to have a real one, but it was all of the original movies like Star Wars. That was all old German firearms that they mocked up. So the only bad thing about that now is pistol is the Mandalorian pistol is a Bergman, maybe. Can't remember exactly.
I think it's a Mannlicher.
Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway,
I'll Google it real quick. Mandalorian,
and I may be saying it wrong.
Mandalorian pistol based off a Bergman 1894.
Bergman. Yeah. There you go.
Well done.
According to Google.
Yeah, no, that was it. God, there's so many. Like, how do you do it? What am I thinking? Bob Lee Swagger, shooter, right?
You want the Four Kings?
Oh.
You talking about the Four Kings?
No, I'm talking about. You're talking about the TV show, aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't remember the TV show enough. I don't think.
Okay.
To get into that, but so I was talking about the movie.
Okay.
Is McMillan or whatever.
McMillan. Yep.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. If you watch the TV show, and I've watched the whole series several times. I love the TV show. They've got some Four Kings in there. That's pretty badass. Let's see here. Wes says there was a Chuck Norris movie where he had sawed off a shotgun that was really cool. Defense Dad says 3 favorite movie TV guns: Danny Glover's lever action and Silverado, Sonny Crockett's Bren 10, fantastic, and the P-38 from Megatron.
Right.
But the Bren 10,
oh, definitely.
Oh, maybe honestly one of the, if not the best TV gun ever. Let's be honest.
It was a shame it was so short-lived. There was a reason.
Yeah.
So we're missing a couple, and I wanted to say this: the PPK.
Oh, iconic! Yeah,
iconic.
James Bond PPK.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The golden gun, which was a pack of cigarettes. The Desert Eagle.
From which movie? I mean, Desert Eagle.
I mean, you name it. Just in general. I mean, you're talking like, but those are like 3 that we totally forgot about already. Like those are super iconic.
You brought up Willem Dafoe earlier. Boondock Saints is another lot in there, and then also you got Willem Dafoe, and he talked about being a crazy character. Oh my God,
yeah,
he played a
Willem Dafoe being a crazy dude, like bad guy, like he made it awesome. I mean, he played the roles great. I mean, for me, when I think Willem Dafoe, I still think Platoon and always will. But I mean, every role that Willem Dafoe's in, like, you end up liking the guy, even though he's probably a bad guy. You're like, man, I wish he would have died, or I wish, he always dies. Also, isn't that some crazy shit? He always, like, I don't know if that's part of his thing. He just likes dying in movies. Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Mario brings up Jack Nicholson's revolver in Batman.
Yeah,
Gotta love that.
That's a Smith & Wesson Model 15, by the way.
What's that now?
I said that's a Smith & Wesson Model 15, by the way.
Sorry says, I'm hoping someone makes a new Bren 10 that works. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
What's the iconic movie with the shotgun? Where is that? Ash? Fuck, what is it?
Oh, Evil Dead?
Evil Dead. Where he's holding that above his head.
Well, it was a lever action there, and then it was a shotgun, but at the end he had the lever action. So, but yeah, his boomstick was a shotgun.
Ozzy said the lever action from the Rifleman. I don't know. I guess I've never seen it.
I got to hold that. It's in Tombstone. So what the actor did, he actually put a screw through the lever.
Yeah.
So when he was lowering it, it would fire. So at the
it.
beginning of every episode, he'd fire off Cloverwood, 15 shots?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's basically slam fired.
Yeah.
That's what he made it do, basically, was he slam fired. Yeah.
Sam says, let's talk the show Yellowstone for a moment. There is one gun in that show, the AR pistol used in season 1.
Never seen
I would love to build that if you guys have seen the show. I'm a big Yellowstone fan.
I don't remember that.
There's like
particular AR pistol, but there's a shit ton of them. So
like Bucky's is like overrun with Yellowstone stuff, shirts and mugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So definitely popular. I've never watched it.
Wes wants to know, is Winchester 73 the only movie named after a gun? Well, that's a great question. I can Google through that. Movies named after guns.
Would you count The Man with the Golden Gun?
The Man with the Golden Gun, Machine Gun Preacher, Silver Bullet, Hobo with a Shotgun, Nude Nuns with Big Guns.
That's a great one.
Man with a Golden Gun.
Yeah, the actual model name.
I mean, it says the Golden Gun, so not a Golden Gun, but the. I mean, so I would have to take that. I would have to take that one. Police Python 357. That was.
Was that a movie?
I don't know. It looks like it's a black and white one. So there's a movie called Colt 45. Looks like it was a French movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't doubt me. I wouldn't doubt there's a movie out there somewhere named Colt 45.
And 2 zigzags, baby.
There's probably not a lot of like mainstream big movies because you got to think trademarks and other things, right?
Yeah,
that would
sure.
possibly come into play.
The 4-barrel shotgun from Phantasm.
Well, it's another iconic shotgun is, and you haven't seen the Expendables yet, but
I have not. So
the
AA-12 is in that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's got some pretty sweet ammo. That's Hail Caesar, which is Terry Cruz's character as the shotgunner, basically in Expendables, and yeah, he's got special.
I'm on the internet database, and
he's got special shells and all kind of crazy stuff. Death Wish is one that hasn't come up with yet, but the 475 Wieldy Magnum, pretty bad to the bone. And yes, I did say that correctly. It's Wieldy Magnum, not Wildy Magnum.
Another very iconic one is Axel Browning High Power.
Oh yeah. Beverly Hills Cop.
Is it in the first Expendables?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's bring up the first Expendables. Beretta 92 FS, Beretta 92G, Elite 1 Alpha, 1726, Kimber Gold Combat, 1911 HK P9S, HK USP, Smith & Wesson 469, SIG P228, Browning High Power, revolvers. You said it was a shotgun?
Yeah, it was the AA-12.
12. He's got a Sega 12 and a Servu Super Shorty.
Yep. Dolph Lundgren did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now the A12 Clover, we shot that at range.
Yeah, we did.
No, didn't we? That's the same one.
Sol Invictus, Sol Invictus was trying to bring it back.
Yeah, they were bringing in. They're supposed to be bringing in like a semi-auto of it.
Yeah, but they did have the full auto there.
They did have the A12 at range day, and that was fun as hell to shoot.
Yeah, it's interesting. The rate of fire is not, especially after you shoot the Vector, right? It's like the rate of fire is interesting on it. Yeah. Unfortunately for Sol Invictus, them trying to do that was their demise. Not really because of anything they directly did, but a series of unfortunate events.
Well, speaking of cool shotguns, I mean, you two have shot
TV show Beretta obviously was named after, but yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have shot the AA-12.
Yeah.
Compare it to the Fostech.
I've never shot the Fostech.
Never shot the Fostech.
I figured you guys would at IV88.
I don't go to
IB8.
Oh, well,
I'm not into circle jerks.
Well, I'm sorry.
No. I have no desire to go to Eric's. That's just me. I've shot so much full auto in my life that, like, it is one of those things where it'd be kind of cool to see everybody, but like it just doesn't interest me. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm not putting it down. I think Eric and Brandy are cool, but it doesn't interest me. I don't know why. Everyone I go to, if I know that goes and said I should go and it'd be fun, I'm sure it would be fun. But like for me, driving to Georgia just for a couple of days of fun, I don't know. I have not shot it, but the A12 is pretty badass. Have you seen the A12?
I have not.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we're on shotguns. One that we can't own in the United States for goofy, silly importation reasons, but you see in movies and have seen in movies. The Spaz 12.
Yeah.
The what?
The Spaz 12.
Will I recognize that if I see it?
Pick a movie, John.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
It's the shotgun from Jurassic Park.
Oh snap! I just saw. Yes. Yeah, I saw a picture. Yeah, absolutely. That is bad.
Semi-auto that will also pump.
Franchi Spaz 12. Franchi.
Franchi
Spaz 12. I didn't. The name didn't ring a bell. I saw a picture. I was like, oh yeah, that's a badass one.
Yeah, unless it's grandfathered, you cannot own one. So
same thing with the Street Sweeper.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that would be cool to have that Spaz 12.
Not really so much for the shotgun, but the 1187 in No Country for Old Men that was suppressed. Pretty cool movie shotgun.
Go ahead.
The one that stands out that's a shotgun, I guess, is what's one of the most recent Bond films. He's at his parents' cabin and he pulls out a shotgun that also takes a round, a hunting round. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah. Talking about
so I zoned out for a minute. What'd you say, John?
The gun, I think it was Spectre. Was it Spectre? Or was that the Bond movie? He went back to his parents' cabin.
Spectre is, I think, the name of his parents' house.
Yeah, and they had sold off his dad's gun collection, and all that was left was basically I believe it was an elephant gun that it was like some shotgun in a rifle round.
Yeah, it was bad. Lever action. You guys have not seen John Wick 4, but I remember when I got done watching it, I sent a text to, I might have put in the group text, I'm not sure, but I know I sent it to Clover because I knew he hadn't seen any John Wicks yet, and I said Dragon's Breath and lever action. The lever action is actually just a Marlin 1894, but I think it was that 357 or 44 mag? I can't remember.
The 94.
94.
It was 44.
44. Okay. All right. So that's what it was. But a company called Mad Pigs Customs totally revamped the outers of this gun, and it is Skyfall. That's what it was. It was Skyfall.
Thank you.
Yeah, Skyfall was the name of his parents' property. Yeah.
Well, we've got the shotgun from Terminator or from T2, right?
I mean, it's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the fact that he's on the motorcycle, it's iconic, 100%.
You've got the 8 gauge from Tremors. Broke into the wrong rec room, didn't you? You know, Bert's.
I've watched Tremors, but it's been such a long. I don't remember.
Forever.
And what's interesting is they called that an elephant gun, but technically an 8 gauge would not be an elephant gun. That would be a big centerfire cartridge. But
Wes says Pulp Fiction had a suppressed MAC-10.
Speaking of Pulp Fiction, all the 1911s, those were Star Model B pistols. They were 9mm pistols, so you can get them.
So we've talked a lot about John Wick. Has anybody seen Constantine? Speaking of Keanu Reeves.
Yes. As a matter of fact, there's another one coming out.
Do you remember the Holy Shotgun?
Oh shit!
It was a modified. It was a modified street sweeper that looked like a cross. It was the Holy Shotgun.
Let's see here, Constantine.
Mm-hmm. Just tying it back into Keanu Reeves here.
No, I get it.
Full circle there.
The Holy Shotgun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what it was based off or anything like that.
An arm cell street sweeper.
Yeah, I'm just.
I mean, does it have to be a gun? Because I was gonna say like the holy hand grenade of Antioch.
Oh my god!
From Monty Python.
Steppeth one to the first step before the second step.
He said holy shotgun. I had to bring that in.
Holy hand grenade.
Okay, so Sam says that the shotgun from Skyfall was the Charles Parker 1878 side by side.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fairly expensive
freaking Clover. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Parker shotguns are very, very expensive, so they used a legit shotgun for that for sure.
Let's James Bond,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of like other iconic Bond guns. Like the PPK. We did the PPK, but I believe one movie he had a P99.
He did. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe a couple movies. Tomorrow Never Dies and Quantum of Solace. Yeah. You had them in 2. Tomorrow Never Dies and Quantum of Solace. And then they brought back the PPK again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's a good comment right there.
This one right here, the noisy cricket.
Yes. Probably one of the most iconic sci-fi guns.
Oh, if we're going sci-fi guns, we could be here for hours. Yeah.
I mean, the M60 hasn't been listed either. Nobody's brought up the M60.
Well, the M60 just in general is a badass gun.
Yeah, but I mean, Rambo had the M60. I mean, if we're talking,
the coolest thing from any of the Rambo movies is, for me anyway, as far as the weaponry.
He's gonna go with a fucking bow and arrow.
Obviously, the knife is iconic.
Knife is
but yes. I don't remember if it was like the 4th one or the 5th one, or I don't even remember which one. But he had a little slim down, like almost foldable like bow that was amazing.
I knew he was going bow.
I thought he was going to go the Ma Deuce scene where he just destroys everybody.
I knew as soon as he brought it, I knew he was going to.
Yeah, it was the bow. Yeah.
The last one where he's older and all that goes down to Mexico and they come back up and fight with him.
One of the best ending scenes in the movie ever.
I will say that the best scene in that whole movie is when he gets the bow out. I will give him that. Yeah, pretty good stuff. Another great gun that is not technically a gun, but we're going to call it in here, is in Gran Torino when Clint Eastwood pulls out the finger gun. He goes, bang, you know, I mean, classic scene.
I mean,
and only Clint Eastwood can make that cool. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if we're going to go non-guns, I'm going to say the M4A1 plasma rifle from Alien.
Plasma. That's fair.
You know what that was? You know what that was mocked up? You know the real gun of that, right?
No.
It's a Thompson.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, really?
It's a mocked up Thompson. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Let's go Alien. Harpoon gun, the laser pistol. He had. Doesn't have it on the database.
What? The pulse rifle?
Yeah.
While you're looking at that,
Are you an alien or are you an aliens? Plural.
Alien.
Yeah, you got to be an aliens.
Oh.
You're the wrong one.
Okay. The pulse rifle. Here we go. It is a Thompson. I'll be damned.
Yep.
I would not have guessed that. But now that you say that, like you look at it and say, oh, okay, I could see it. But without knowing it ahead of time, I would not have guessed Thompson.
Yep. Yeah, you can tell. You can tell by the grip for sure.
Yeah, the grip. But once again, I mean, how many times I'm not big on watching movies and looking at the grips of the guns to see if they are. You know?
Yeah, the grip and the bolt pretty much give it away. Trigger guard and all give it away.
Yeah, but I would not have. Yeah, interesting. What were you saying, John?
If we can continue with, fictional guns, the revolver from Hellboy.
Oh, the Samaritan, and that's not a real gun either, but that's amazing. Yeah.
I've seen Hellboy, but I don't remember the gun.
That would be like a 4-gauge revolving shotgun, or maybe even bigger than that.
Let's see here. Hellboy.
Maybe more like a 2-gauge. But yeah, his big old revolver.
Yeah.
Hellboy. Is that like the original one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Samaritan. Oh snap! Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's pretty
now,
good.
if you want to talk about fantasy guns that they didn't really mock them up or do anything with them at all, and they fit in the movie with the futuristic space fantasy perfectly, the Calicos and Spaceballs. Like they literally just use the Calicos, and like you would think like that's not a real gun. Like it looks too weird, and it's like it's totally a real thing.
Yeah. And they didn't change it.
They didn't change nothing. They had the pistol and the rifle versions, and they didn't change nothing.
Absolutely. Snake Plissken's custom Mac 10 from Escape from New York.
Oh yeah.
Anderson Wheeler 500 double rifle and 500 nitro, also from Skyfall.
Oh, the Tech 9s from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, the Tech 9. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Don't forget about the Colt with the grenade launcher underneath from Scarface.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, like that wasn't mocked up at all. That's a real thing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's real.
100%. That's a real thing. The Jawa's ion blasters were sawed-off Lee Enfield rifles. I did not realize that.
Yes, they were.
I did not know that. Now, what was Han's blaster based off of?
A broom handle Mauser.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Mauser. Okay.
Do it fast enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool stuff. Hour and a half into this bullshit. Thanks for wasting an hour and a half. I was lazy today. It's one of the lazy dinners earlier in the show. I was lazy today. I've been busy, really busy, working all of that, and I really did not. I was talking with Chase this morning, and my initial when we started talking movie guns for some reason, But I said, oh, movie guns, we'll do that. But my initial thing tonight was going to be Schwarzenegger versus Stallone versus Norris, who was better in the 80s. We need to have that discussion.
That's tough. Put a poll
We
out,
need
man.
to have that discussion when I'm
Add one more to it and put a poll out.
Who are you going to add to it?
Van Damme.
Van Damme or Bruce Willis, maybe. You could even go. Oh man,
Mel Gibson.
Mel, yeah, he could.
Eastwood
in the 80s.
Are you? This sounds like a multiple poll.
Would probably go with Van Damme to fit in that genre, you know.
It sounds like you should do 2 polls in a tournament.
Well, we could do.
Somebody said Seagal.
Oh, Steven Seagal. That's gonna be the 4th one. 80 Seagal, regardless of what he is now.
He cranked out a lot of stuff.
Seagal, he made a bunch of fucking money back then, you know.
So somebody brought up the other day, what if John Wick was not Keanu Reeves and it was Steven Seagal? And I kind of laughed.
Yeah, right.
Would not be good at all. I wouldn't have watched him.
I don't think they can make a suit big enough to fit him.
That's why he has to wear the freaking kimonos and shit. And they just wrap it, you know.
Right. Omar the tent maker made his stuff.
We'll have to do a bracket. We might do an 80s. We might have to do a bracket. We haven't done a bracket show in about 5 years. We might have to do a bracket show next week with the 80s 80s action heroes. That might have to happen. Instead of doing a poll with it, we're just going to do a bracket show, and it'll be terrible. It'll be fun. It'll be terrible and fun at the same time. All right, hour and a half. John, you've got any organizations or anything that you want to talk about? Go for it. And I know you got an event, or there is an event coming up actually really soon now. So
yeah. So again, like always, I'm going to talk about Southeastern Guide Dog. Again, that is a nonprofit organization giving guide dogs to vets with PTSD and other conditions, free of charge, for free food, free vet care, everything for the life of the dog. There's going to be an event in Newark, Ohio on May 20th at the Humidor over there. Go out, support it. If you like cigars, if you like bourbon, and you like veterans, that is the place to be. You're going to be there. So there's going to be auctions, giveaways. You're going to be able to meet Bobby Newman from JC Newman Cigars and a bunch of other people. So it's a good time, and I hope to see you guys out there, or I won't be there, but please, if you are in the area, go ahead and join.
Yep, for sure. Thanks for coming on, homie. Racist Clover, what you got going on this week?
Hey, I'm not racist. My guns are black.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Just dropped an actual video. There's been some cameos and stuff with the Bursa BAR-15. Previously,
badass rifle. Is that what it stands for?
There you go. But just dropped an actual video with that rifle earlier today, so go check that one out. Have hopefully, if everything goes as planned, we've got Gabby Franco on the podcast. That is bright and early in the morning, unfortunately.
She's one of those with her energy. She's probably up at 4 o'clock. So like 9 o'clock in the morning is like midday for her, you know.
Probably.
She has got so much damn energy. It's not even funny.
Yeah. And then we've got Kyle with Anderson on May the 4th. Thursday.
I hope he got out of the rehearsal dinner. He may not be alive by then.
Right. So that's what I've got going on.
May the 4th you on Thursday. And there's probably a reason why Kyle picked May the 4th is his podcast.
He jumped on that like nobody else that I sent the schedule out to and was trying to schedule. And he was actually the first and the only one that even picked up on there was a open date on May the 4th. He's like, it's got to be May the 4th. I'm like, I agree with you. That works.
Yeah.
So
and then snap. There you go.
He's even got the divot
with you, and the next day is Revenge of the 5th, you know. So people don't celebrate Revenge of the 5th as much as they should.
Or Cinco de Mayo.
I get that, but for me, it's going to be Revenge of the 5th. So And if you guys aren't Star Wars fans, Revenge of the Sith on the 5th of May is a day after May the 4th be with you. May the 5th is Revenge of the 5th. Like I said, I think the Sith don't get as much love as they should. Just saying.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Did you make that yourself, or is that something you bought?
No, I got it from Disney.
No, so you spent about $400 on that bad boy.
Actually, this wasn't bad. This is 80.
Oh, okay. Snob says you should leave that on. Yeah, if your camera's going to be on, leave that on. That's much better looking.
All right, fine then.
Can you actually see through it?
Yeah, I can see through it.
Good.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Now, if only you could put a microphone on his microphone, that would be really cool.
Oh, yeah, to get that echo or whatever.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Hour and 35 minutes. You guys ain't getting that time back. You're not getting your money back. I know we didn't make you any smarter tonight. Maybe we entertained you for a little bit. By the numbers, I would say we did not. Once again, I mailed it in tonight. I'm not going to lie. I think, I there's a lot of stuff going on in life with a lot of people, and I was tired, and I really didn't have time or really want to think about a serious topic. So I said, let's just have some fun tonight. For those of you that joined in, I hope you had fun. If not, I apologize. Come back next week, and we might have a little bit more fun for you. I will try to mail it in too often, but I did. I mailed this one in tonight. I'm not going to lie. Other than that, anything, closing words, closing arguments? I will say this, if you're not up to speed, there is a judge that I know here in Arkansas that could single-handedly take down Hunter Biden. If you haven't been watching it, he was in Batesville, Arkansas yesterday. It's about 40 minutes from where I am. The judge presiding over that is someone that I know, and he was trying to get out and dismiss a charge of some child support that he owes. And not only did that get denied, the judge, she said, you know what, we're going to open up all financial records. I'm pretty sure that she's going to take down Hunter Biden. And what a great thing to happen here in Arkansas. Only 40 minutes from here, I might have to go make an appearance at that courtroom. Just saying, that'd be kind of fun to see. Go check that out.
She might need 24-hour protection.
Oh, she's going to get Clinton eventually. There's no doubt about it. She needs to be careful. She will get Clinton eventually. You guys have anything else closing up that you need to add or want to bring up or anything?
Chase just texted me of something about calves and cows.
No.
Yep. All right. We'll have fun. No crayons were injured during this podcast. We'll see you soon. Semper Fi.